Hello, everyone. I wanted to speak to you about um, thoughts. You guys ever find it? I find it to be interesting sometimes when you try to think positive, and but then you find yourself not being able to think positive because there's all these negative thoughts that have flown into your mind. Man, I'm like, what's up with these thoughts? If you have a thought, how come the thoughts are not loving thoughts or about or they're thoughts about something that you did when you were young? I find a lot of the thoughts just to be very negative. So it almost seems like the predominant thoughts are negative thoughts, and you have to work really, really hard, double time, to think thoughts that are positive. I noticed that. Like I would have a thought, for example, of something that took place in the past, and then whatever reason the thought is a negative thought, and I have to ask myself sometimes, I'm like, okay, but what about when I did this, or what about when I did that? Why are the thoughts so predominantly negative, right? So you really realize there is definitely a wrestling match that is taking place within our minds. It's almost like when you read the scriptures and it talks about a spiritual mind and it talks about a carnal mind. And these two minds are really, they oppose each other, they offset each other, and they negate each other. It's really, really amazing when you think about it, that you could actually possess two thoughts, positive and negative, and spiritual and worldly. But yet these two are in opposition to each other. It's amazing. So life is really what you life sometimes can be really, really challenging with these chain of thoughts. And it's true. It's so easy to think negative thoughts. It's so easy to be critical. It's so easy to have this way of thinking or view, have the same view as everyone else. But for you now to separate your thoughts from everyone else can be a little bit of a challenge. So it really, really is extraordinary when I really think about it on a whole, how the mind operates. And it's really important what we feed the mind in terms of what we watch, in terms of what we read. It really, really will have an effect, and a profound effect on our minds. So it's really, really, really extraordinary, and I just really wanted to share that point of view. So it's really, really important how we think, what we feed our mind, because society could play a large part in the way in which our thought process operates. So having a spiritual mindset is a godly one, and having a worldly mindset is dealing with the spirit of this world, which essentially is the devil. So negative thoughts I find at times to be the more predominant thoughts, and worldly thoughts I find at times to be the prominent thoughts. But I find sometimes the challenge is to think positive, and the challenge is to think spiritual, because whatever reason they don't come natural. You find yourself really having to focus to really have those thoughts flow. And so I just want to say, you know what? We need to trust in the Lord above for those of us who are believers. And we need to make sure that we set our minds right and we guard our minds. We can't let every and anything enter our minds. And so I just want to say, God bless and take care. Once again, this is Alex Clark. Take care.